Follow me now. Come with me right now." His voice was insistent. Alexander was a head taller than this man, such that Ophelia couldn't see the man quickly. She could only hear the dark growl of a voice that came like a hiss to Alexander. Fear crept into her eyes as she looked up at Alexander. He looked down at his petty wife and shook his head, indicating that she shouldn't worry and that he had it under control. He turned his head slightly towards the back. "Young man, look behind you." As the man turned to look behind him, there were 4 heavily built bodyguards who grabbed the man and twisted the arm that held the knife. It clattered to the floor as they carried him and moved him out of the place. Then Alexander turned back to his wife and smiled at her. "I told you, you would always be safe with me. This is proof. This is about us. Nothing can separate us. Do you believe that now?" he said, looking into her eyes deeply. Ophelia nodded rapidly in acceptance. They continued to dance, and with a sigh of relief, Ophelia laid her head on his chest. He held her tightly to himself as they moved as if floating in the air. When they had danced for a while, Alexander asked, "Should we go now? Or should we dance some more? Please, you just hold me like this. Let's dance some more." He held her again such that her heart, which was thumping rapidly, had slowed down a bit and she could breathe easily now. They kept dancing and floating through the dancing couples. When the music changed to a fast dancing tempo, they stopped their dance and he bowed in front of her. "My lady, I think I'm tired for today. Let's go back to our hotel," he suggested. "I too am exhausted. I think we should," she responded, moving their hand, holding her tightly, not wanting anyone to surprise her hand out of his. He held on to her as they walked out of the ball. Once they had approached the entrance from which they came into the ballroom, the driver spotted them and drove closer to the staircases so that when they came down they would be able to enter in. Once they got to the car, Alexander gestured for the driver not to come open the door. He wanted to be the one to do it by himself, so he opened it for her, and as soon as she got in, he slid in beside her. They drove into the night, and in no time they were at the hotel. After entering their room, Ophelia said, "Who are you? The way you handled that incident at the ballroom was just perfect. Can you tell me who you are? Talk to me, Alexander," she insisted. "If truly you see me as your wife, talk to me, Alexander. I want to know you," she said, persuading him. "As I introduce you to my world, don't worry, you'll get to know me," he told her, his words concealing a hidden promise. "How come I don't know much about you? I only know you are rich, and that has put a big question mark in my brain. I don't know how you came by that kind of wealth," she said, voicing everything that had been on her mind for the past few days. "Okay, we'll chat. Turn on the TV for me and let us listen to some news. I need to be updated about happenings around the world," he said as he got up from his seat. "Should I serve you Prosecco, or would you like some wine?" He went towards their wine cabinet. "Yes, I would like some Prosecco, but I don't want wine. I think I prefer Prosecco better because of the way it is, although it is a bit too tangy for my taste, but I love it." He served the 2 wine glasses with Prosecco and then gave one to her. He lifted his glass up. "To us," he said, and he clinked his glass with hers. She just looked at him. He looked back at her with a smile playing on his lips. She took a sip from the glass as she still watched him. "Alexander, can I ask you a question?" she said, breaking the silence. "Of course, fire away." "Your ship, Queen Ophelia? When was that ship built?" Ophelia asked. 5 years ago, he responded simply. 5 years ago, and you named the ship Queen Ophelia? Did you know me back then?" she said, studying his face. Alexander looked at Ophelia keenly. "Do you want to know the truth?" he asked, posing a question of his own. "Yes, of course." "I knew you back then." "How well did you know me?" she asked, getting more curious. "Not at first. I've known you over the years," he revealed. "Alexander, how?" "As you can see, I don't go to parties. I don't socialize. How would you have known me all those years?" "Alexander, do you know that you are creepy? So it means you've been stalking me all this while, right?" she accused. "I wouldn't call it stalking. I would say you walked into my world, and the moment I saw you, I knew I couldn't let you go. I had to make you mine," he said as seriously as ever. "Really? Now you're coming up with those cheesy lines again? I'm not in the mood for all these lines," she said, laughing because she felt he was joking. "You said you wanted the truth. I'm telling the truth. That is something about me you should know. I will always tell you the truth no matter what. If I have to lie to you, then I wouldn't say anything at all because I cannot lie to you. If I lie to you, I lie to myself. So I'll always tell you the truth, Ophelia. Know that," he explained. "All right, Mr. Husband. So what exactly was the business deal that you had with my mother concerning our marriage? What was all that about? It was like I was bamboozled into this marriage and I didn't understand what was going on. Even up till now I don't understand anything," Ophelia rattled on. "Well, my dear Ophelia, my sweetheart," he said. "Alexander, don't call me that. I'm not your sweetheart. You, Ophelia, may not call me your sweetheart, but I, Alexander, will call you my sweetheart because that's what you are to me. You are my sweetheart. You are my life. Believe that. That is the truth. As for the business deal or transaction, as you want to call it, there wasn't anything much. I just needed to have you with me, so I came up with all manner of excuses, and your mother stipulated a price only to pay, and I paid it. And now you are my wife," Alexander said. "Okay, don't worry. I won't barrage you with questions tonight. What you have told me, I will go and digest it. But be rest assured, by tomorrow I will have a whole lot of questions to ask you, and you better be prepared to answer. Or else you turn around and you won't see me. I'll have gone back to my apartment," she threatened, and Alexander looked at Ophelia and laughed. "Didn't I tell you something? You can't leave this marriage. Your mother and sister will suffer. I have tied you down to this marriage. You're not listening. I will have no other but you. You are all I want, and nothing can move you from me," he declared to her boldly, almost creepily. "Alexander, stop sounding creepy. You're getting me scared," she said. "I don't want you to be scared, my darling. Don't be scared of me. I just want you to love me back. That's all, because I love you so much," he confessed. "That will take a while, Alexander. That will take a lot of time," she told him. "I am willing to wait no matter how long it takes. So where else would you like to go to?" "I just remembered. I'll take you somewhere that means a lot to me tomorrow. Please, in the morning when we get up, if I'm heading for somewhere else, remind me," he said. "Since I'm tired and my eyes are drooping, let me rush and change and get into bed. I want to sleep. Or should I come with you to help you wash your back? You know your small hands cannot wash your back." "Get away, Alexander." He started laughing again as soon as he heard her words. She ran into the bathroom, showered, and changed into her nightwear. Lying down now on the bed, she began to hear voices. She got up and went toward the door. She heard a voice clear as her heart thumped fast. "Did you do away with him?"